My name is Emma. I was 24 and needed a job badly. When I found a job as a cleaner in a big, shiny office building, I was very happy. The office was huge, with glass walls and fancy furniture. I was told I would clean the office of Liam, a young, rich businessman. People said he was smart, but very private. No one really knew him well. I was nervous on my first day. I had never seen a place so nice. I cleaned the desks, wiped the windows, and made sure everything looked perfect. Liam was not in his office that day. I was glad because I was not ready to meet him yet. Days went by and everything was normal. I would come in, clean, and go home. But one day everything changed. One afternoon I was cleaning Liam's office. It was very quiet. I looked around and saw a big bookcase in the corner. It was full of thick books with shiny covers. I was curious. What kind of books did a rich man like Liam read? I walked over and touched one of the books. It felt smooth under my fingers. Before I knew it, I picked it up and flipped through the pages. I did not hear the sound of the door opening. Suddenly I heard a voice. "What are you doing?" I turned around and there he was. Liam stood by the door, looking at me with serious eyes. I was so surprised that the book fell from my hands. It hit the floor and some pages tore. My heart started to beat fast. I felt my face turn red. I quickly bent down to pick up the book, but my hands were shaking. Liam's eyes narrowed, and he took a step closer. "You shouldn't touch my things," he said. His voice was calm, but it felt heavy, like a cloud before rain. "I'm sorry," I whispered. I could barely look at him. I felt so small, so scared. "Come with me," Liam said. He walked to the door of the conference room and opened it. My feet felt heavy, but I followed him. The room was big and had a long table with many chairs. Liam sat at the head of the table and pointed to a chair for me to sit. I felt nervous. Why did he bring me here? Was he going to fire me? Liam looked at me for a long time without saying a word. I felt like he could see all my thoughts. But then, something changed in his eyes. I thought I saw sadness. "Why were you looking at my books?" he asked. His voice was softer now. "I was just curious," I said quietly. "I didn't mean to break it. I'm sorry." "It's not just a book," he said. "It's special to me." He looked away, and for the first time, I saw that he was not just serious, he was lonely. I wanted to say something, anything, to break the silence. "Do you read these books a lot?" I asked, trying to sound brave. "Yes," he said. He looked at me, and for a moment, he didn't seem so distant. "Books are my escape," I nodded. "I like books too," I said. "They make me feel less alone." Liam looked surprised. "You feel alone?" he asked. I nodded. "Yes. It's hard sometimes." I didn't know why I was telling him this. Maybe because he looked like he understood. Liam was quiet again, but this time it felt different. The air between us was not cold anymore. It was warm, like the sun coming out after the rain. From that day, things changed between us. Liam would nod at me when he saw me in the office. Sometimes he would say hello. I still cleaned his office, but now I didn't feel scared. I felt curious. Who was Liam really? Why did he seem so sad? One day, as I was leaving, he called out to me. "Emma," he said, "thank you." "For what?" I asked, confused. "For understanding," he said with a small smile. I walked home that day with a strange feeling in my heart. Maybe, just maybe, there was more to Liam than anyone knew. And maybe my life was about to change in ways I could not imagine.